We'll talk about shooting for the stars. Literally, Ellen Ochoa was the first Hispanic woman to go to space in 1993. She's retired now, but has had quite the career. And what you might not know is she lives right here in Boise. I caught up with her in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we talked about what going to space was like and the importance of having role models.
It was certainly a hugely exciting mission.
Before moving to Boise 5 years ago, this was a sight Ellen Ochoa would see on 4 different occasions.
We're orbiting every hour and a half, and so we have a chance to just see really the entire populated region of the Earth as we during our mission as we're going over. And then the other thing is living and working in a almost zero gravity environment where everything's floating, you're floating.
The former astronaut spent a total of 41 days in space.
I had been a research engineer before becoming an astronaut. So this mission was really designed to do research in space that you couldn't do on Earth. And we were specifically on that mission studying the Earth's atmosphere.
And I must say it's a little bit hard to keep my concentration because I'm looking out the aft windows at some great views of South America right now.
That first mission happened in 1993.
I know you train and you prepare to go to space. What is it like when you come back to Earth?
You feel very heavy right at the beginning. It's kind of hard to stand up. Your balance system is a little bit off because you haven't had to use it for the whole time you've been in space. And so, it can be a little bit hard to walk a straight line at first.
As the first Hispanic woman to go to space, Ochoa was a trailblazer in more ways than one.
So if there's any question on launch day,
she would then go on to become the director of NASA's Johnson Space Center in 2013. She was only the second woman to lead Johnson and the first Hispanic to do so.
When I was growing up, but even today, you often don't hear about people with very different backgrounds as you're in school learning about the history of our country and, people who have done things. And so, without the special attention of like Hispanic Heritage Month, a lot of people wouldn't have heard of me or other people that are often highlighted. And then I think that's a loss because it's often role models who get kids thinking about, well, what would I like to do? What kind of high goals could I set for myself? And, particularly in the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math, women aren't well represented. Hispanic or Latinx community is not well represented at all. And we need those people. We need all the bright minds.
Ochoa's retired now, but she was a part of NASA for 30 years. She now visits schools and gives talks at events to help inform and inspire the next generation. Those talks explore the importance of hard work, overcoming challenges, and teamwork.
I would occasionally run into people who just really couldn't picture me, either where I was or where I was interested in going, and yet always also had people who encouraged me and helped support me.
When Ochoa was in graduate school, the space shuttle flew for the first time. Then Sally Ride flew, paving the way for Ochoa.
First American woman in space. She also had majored in physics. She had gone to Stanford, which is where I was currently getting my PhD. I think 3 years after that, the first Hispanic American flew, Franklin Chang Diaz. So this was a career that was now open to people like me. Whereas before Sally Ride's class was selected, women weren't allowed to be astronauts.
5 years later, Ochoa's dreams soared to new heights. Just incredible. And she credits fellow astronaut Barbara Morgan for moving to Idaho. She says she's friends with Barbara and her husband and really loved the area. In fact, she told me there are more astronauts who live here in Boise. And by the way, Ochoa mentioned that she spent a total of 41 days in space. But keep in mind, astronauts nowadays spend longer amounts of time in space. So when they return to Earth, that recovery also takes more time.